Good evening, people. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. Hi, Sonali. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So very good evening, people. I welcome you all to the session. Request you all to switch on your videos so that you get a chance to communicate. Please switch on your videos. Yeah. Thank you, Yugal. We have a few people joining in. Quickly. Please join in, switch on your videos and get ready for the session. Hi, Divya. Very good evening.
Good evening, Vidisha. Good evening, Sonali.
Hi, Divya.
Hi, Sonali.
We're going to start the session in 2-3 minutes. I request students to please switch on the videos and, we can all have a conversation. Okay, so we have some people. Madhu, you will just enter them. By that time, I can just start the session. So today's webinar is on communication skills. So any of you, if you can please switch on your video and perhaps share an input as to why you feel communication skills are important in life or career. Anybody? Would someone please like to share an input? Why do you think communication skills are important, or do you think they are important? Kedar, Shashi.
Yes, ma'am, because because it makes possible for you to share your ideas and views to others.
All right, fair enough. Fair point. It's your power of expression, and that's what he says. So Kedar, what would you like to say? Why do you think the power of communication or communication skills are very important for us to chart our growth path in life? Come on, don't get conscious. You can just say what you feel like.
Yes, ma'am, because it lets you understand what other people think and communicate your ideas.
Okay. Anyone else would like to say something? Would anyone else like to say something on communication skills? Why do you feel this skill is very important in our lives? Madhu, in the meantime, if you can just make Sonali and Divya the co-host as well. So students, each time we have an event on skill building, we have esteemed guests who join us. They are from the corporate since many years, and this is your opportunity to interact with them. So request you all to please switch on your videos and take out the time and take your chance to interact with our guest Sonali Chadda, who's there with us. She's having this huge experience with her in the HR industry, and she's just the right person. This is her second event with her, in fact. After the successful first event, we brought her on board for the second event as well. So she can give you answers to all the questions that you might so have on communication skills. So, Sonali, can we have a few questions for you?
I'm all set.
All right. So Sonali is ready to take your questions, guys.
Guys, this is your chance. You are pursuing your ACCA. Tomorrow you will be appearing for an interview. So you would want to see that what HR looks for, because they are the gatekeepers. They are looking at your resume, they are talking to you, and basis their screening, they are passing your candidature to the hiring person. So this is so important that you understand the perspective. I mean, how an HR screens the resume, what they look for, and how you would be putting your candidature forward. So this is your chance today to just ask as many questions as you have. So if you are comfortable, and if I can see you all on the screen. And just ask one question to yourself, why you are not switching on your video. Even if you are not in your formals, this is okay. It's just a chat. It's not a formal session. And
Exactly.
it is completely, we know that we all are in the homework environment. And this is okay if you are in your track pants. It's okay. But it would be so great to have a face on the voice. Imagine I switch off my camera and then you would be talking to a black screen. So Kedar, my question to you, before you ask any question to me, have you appeared for any interview yet? Did you face any interview?
Yes, ma'am. I have already worked in an accounting firm for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It was small size firm.
Mm-hmm.
So I had been working in accounts and tax department.
Mm-hmm.
So I have faced interviews.
And what was your experience? Where did you go nervous and where were you very confident? And how confident are you that tomorrow when you're appearing with your next employer, you would be able, I mean, do you have that confidence that you would be able to crack it?
So basically, I am a bit nervous in the communications only.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to improve myself.
And why do you feel that you are not very confident?
So it's basically due to face-to-face experience
Mm-hmm.
and bit fear of public.
Mm-hmm.
So I lack in that.
So there are a few tips, and now I cannot see you. I don't know what has gone wrong with my screen. I can't see you.
My video is on, ma'am.
Yeah, I know, but I think there is some problem. I can't see you. So imagine when you are meeting with a stranger. Right now, you and I are interacting for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know you. You do not know me. And we are just having a chat, a conversation. First,
Yes.
take out the fear of this interview that somebody is going to assess. It is not assessment. It is you are appearing, you are talking about your qualification, your experiences, and you are putting your candidature forward. The moment you take out this fear of getting assessed and judged, half of your problems will go away.
Right.
So you and I are talking, and I'm just asking a few questions. So what you have done academically, just give me your introduction.
So I am BCom graduate.
Uh-huh.
I had been pursuing CA, but unfortunately could not pass in the
Mhm.
inters.
Mhm.
So I started my job with CA studies.
Mhm.
So last year I dropped out from CA.
Mhm. And what are
And
your plans now?
so I will be, I started ACCA from, this is my first class.
Mhm.
Today's session was my first class.
Mhm.
So I wanted to pursue ACCA.
Okay. So if I were you, I would start preparing for my introduction.
Mhm.
Hi, Sonali. I'm Kedar. I'm a BCom graduate. I prepared for my CA exam, but unfortunately, I couldn't clear Group 1 or Group 2. Thereafter, I just rearranged my plan. I rescheduled my studies, and right now I have registered myself for ACCA, and I am appearing that for now. So for any conversation, I'm sorry?
video. laptop screen.
Request you to please mute yourself. In case you're not speaking, please mute yourself. The session is getting
Mobile.
disturbed. Yeah, Sonali, I think you can continue.
So, Kedar, the most important thing for any conversation, for any interview, for any meeting is structuring your thoughts. You know what is the agenda of the meeting. So if the agenda today is the interview, that means they would be talking about you, your qualification, your plans, and your experience. So this is so important that you structure your thoughts. You give that, within 5 to 7 minutes of that interview, of that meeting, the other person takes a decision whether or not to take you on board or not. Because that takeoff is so important that within that 5 minutes, you and I need to make a rapport.
Right.
So few things for that rapport is so important when we are face to face, that we have an eye contact. When we have an eye contact, it shows our confidence. It shows our honesty. It talks about the expression we are bringing to our conversation. So structuring your thought, I dropped off, I failed, refrain using the negative words. I failed, I dropped off. So rather rephrase them, replace them with positive words. I gave it a try, but I think I have come to a point where I think I would like to invest my time acquiring the other accounting skills, and maybe after a while I would like to go pursuing my CA once again. So this gives an idea. This person is serious right now. He is just taking his time to evaluate other accounting skills, and then he plans to move back. So it gives that this person is very clear in his thought process. So what are you trying to do? I will think, I'll see if, but these words are very unsure. They talk a lot about your personality and your thought process. A person who is spending just 15 to 20 minutes or maybe a 30 minutes talking to you, he would like to see an ideal candidate. No matter how many negative thoughts you have, how fearful you are, if you are scared, if you are cynical, no matter what, but to the interviewer, you should look like the most confident person be around. And never ever get into the doubt that I do not possess good communication. Communication does not always mean good English. Even if you get little, you stumble on, or you get little confused and you're not finding the right word, you can always switch to little Hindi and then come back. If you want to take a pause, you can ask the interviewer that, can I have a break and can I just go for a walk? There is no problem, because everyone knows that interview, during the interview, everyone gets a little nervous. So they give you the leeway. It is important that you reach before time, because when you are reaching before time, 5 to 7 minutes to get acquainted with the atmosphere. So you are at the reception, you are looking at some of the posters displayed, some of the stuff, and you are getting into the vibes of that reception. And when the HR takes you to a meeting room, you are all prepared. Imagine somebody is late for an interview or a meeting, and then they enter to that meeting room, and then they are not able to, keep their bag in the right place on the table to start a conversation, because they are already a little nervous, maybe a little embarrassed that they are late, and this is not the right start of the meeting. So 2 things, your introduction is very, very important. What do you want to say? How do you want to say? Always be there before time, minimum 5 to 10 minutes. Take a pause. Do not make long sentences. Do not overuse the conjunctions. I wanted to go, but I wanted to do that as I saw that. So do not use that. Small sentences, very crisp sentences, and try to read the mind of the interviewer, what he or she is trying to ask. So listening skills are very important. Sometimes we are in so much of hurry to let them know, I have done that, I have done that. It's a small firm. Why am I saying it's a small firm? The company I'm working with, they are into the manufacturing of eggs. And I joined this company 2 years back to start with only the invoice processing. Today, I am taking care of their account. So it talks about the variety, the activities you've been performing. So structuring your thoughts and then expressing that with the right com skills is very, very important. You just practice it once or twice and you will see a remarkable difference. Get yourself videoed. And then you get to see how do you sound, the right words, where you get nervous. Just 2 or 3 times, a little practice, and you will be through. Does that help, Kedar?
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
Thank you, Sonali, for that quick bite. I'll formally start the session. So welcome you all to yet another session on skill building. And today's topic is communication skills, the most important skill that is needed for your success in life, as in all spheres of life, be it work, be it career, be it life, be it relationships. So communication skills was one topic that was coming up as a request from most of our students. And after our successful session last time, we approached Sonali ma'am once again for a session on communication skills. So I'm Vidisha Saraf, as you all know, the director and co-founder of Saraf Academy. And on behalf of my entire team, I welcome you all, our esteemed guest, Sonali, our members from the ACCA team, and all our lovely students. So as you all know, Saraf Academy was a dream company started by me and my husband. It's a training academy where we are providing training to students across the globe for the most prestigious qualifications in the commerce space. And in our constant endeavor to serve you and support you all in your lives, we started very recently with our skill building series, where we have tried to bring up important topics like, interview skills. We did a session on resume writing. We did a session on ACCA PER requirements. And now we have come up with communication skills. I request you all to write on an email to us mentioning the topics you want us to cover with leading corporate entities. And we would try our best to organize those sessions for you at the quickest. Without further ado, I think today I will quickly formally introduce Sonali so that she can start off the session. We have with us for the second time again, Sonali Chadda, who is the HR Director, Global Corporate Functions. She has been with the InterContinental Hotels Group since 2006 and has worked in diverse areas like talent acquisition, performance management, talent management, compensation and benefits, employee engagement, and employee relations. She has over 20 years of rich experience in HR. Sonali holds a postgraduate diploma in human resources from All India Management Association and is certified in organizational development from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. She's completed her Executive MBA from Xavier Labour Research Institute, XLRI, and is also a certified black belt in Quality Six Sigma. Her zeal and passion towards driving the people agenda motivates her to stay focused on her professional goals. So that's Sonali Chadda for you all, guys. Give it up for her. And I welcome you all to the session. Sonali, it's over to you.
Thank you, Isha, for the wonderful, I was just thinking in my head, if I've done so many things in my life, it looks like, somebody has pushed my resume. So guys, over to you now. It's your turn to ask questions. Why you feel and where do you feel that you need to put your focus on? Because communication is a very, very vast topic. So you are looking at your interview time thing, your peer relationship, how you come across, how to introduce yourself. Over to you guys.
Sonali, would we like to proceed with the questions, or you have a presentation or something which you would like to
I have some reference points and I can share that if I'm allowed to. Yes, it's here. So this is what I have for them. And that's what I was discussing with Kedar, that when we are appearing for interview And when we are preparing for any conversation, any meeting, this is so important that we need to get into the preparing mode. We sometimes think it's just a meeting, it's just an interview. I know what I've been doing and I just go and crack it. It doesn't help. It does not. Be punctual and think before you speak. Sometimes there are very tricky questions. They ask about your, sometimes, not always, but there could be a case where they would like to see the maturity of the person and they would ask some religious or some political questions. So refrain. Do not be judgmental. Speak clearly, cohesively, and calmly. This is just a conversation. Take out the fear of getting judged or assessed. Half of the battle is won the moment you are out of that fear of getting judged. Be confident, not arrogant. So sometimes, when I remember some of my instances when I used to take the first level interviews. So some people, they are very confident. They used to be confident, but you are asking a question. So have you done your, what is your experience with governance and compliance? So are you telling me that I have not done this? So there should not be any counter questions. Listen well. What the interviewer is trying to ask, it is so important that you are not getting nervous. You are just trying to read his mind, what he or she is trying to ask, and express gratitude. When it is the end of the meeting, always say thank you. So there has to be a very good takeoff and a very good landing. Mannerism, behavior, the softer side always bring the best out of you. You all with me on this? Shall we move on? Or do we have any questions on this?
Students, you have any questions, then please raise your hands or perhaps just unmute yourself and ask the question. You shouldn't be shy and coy at all. It's just a very closed, meeting. You can definitely take the chance to ask your questions and nobody is going to judge you for that. Do we have any questions?
If you want me to take a small interview with you, yes.
Hello, ma'am. This is Shamshid in this side.
Yes.
And I would like to ask you something with regard to the previous job which we were doing. If suppose the interviewer asks us, why are you planning to leave the previous job which you were doing, or what was your experience particularly in that company or in that firm? So what will be an appropriate answer to this type of question? Do we need to speak out very clearly what were the difficulties we were facing in that organization, or how do we need to approach such kind of a question?
So Shamshid, once again, gathering your thoughts and structuring it and then packaging it very positively is so important. So we all know that when we are updating our resume, we are going to the market looking for opportunity, there has to be something triggering that thought. But it is so important when you are presenting that thought, it should appear very positive. So if, now just close your eyes and listen to me. If I say, I have a very bad boss, this company is not great, this company doesn't take care of the employee, and they do not allow me to take this leaves and that, and then the work profile is not great, they do not have the good benefit programs. How would you, what comes to your mind when you hear these statements from a candidate? What comes to your mind?
A kind of negative attitude of the candidate towards the job, or he is much more critical than appreciable.
Very skeptical approach, right? Now, if I say I joined this company 2.5 years ago, and then I worked in the accounts payable department, I got another opportunity to work with reconciliation. And now I am looking for my next level, which unfortunately I'm not finding within. I tried a few opportunities, but they are not in line. I am very much interested for the compliance side, and my company is not much into compliance. Or if you have, I'm looking for my next career move where I can enhance end-to-end accounting, or maybe I am more into this. But before that, Shamshid, you have to be very clear, where do you want to build your career? Are you going for a job or are you looking for a career? Are you clear enough that you have seen the AP side, AR side, the month-end side, and compliance side? Where do you want to take your career to? If you are so clear, and never ever talk about your company, because the company is the one who has provided you the platform. Even if there are certain things which are not as per your expectations, the employee benefits or X or Y or Z, I would never ever recommend, because the conversation of this 15 to 20 minutes creates an impression. And I firmly believe that both parties should exchange their thoughts very positively. So I'm looking for my next career opportunity. This company has provided me the platform to learn, and whatever you have learned, Jamshed, speak that out clearly. That I have learned, I have looked at this, I have looked at this, I handled this, and now I have come to a point where I think I really need to, maybe fasten my learning pace. And my company scale is not that big. This is a mid-scale company where the opportunities are limited. And then the interviewer would be asking you, what kind of opportunity are you looking for? So if you are not clear that what exactly am I looking for, the conversation will not take place. That will rather be a question and answer round. So if I ask you, why do you want to leave your company? And you say that, oh, my career enhancement opportunities are limited. So my next question obviously would be that what kind of career opportunity are you looking for? So what would be your answer, Shamshed?
I would like to upscale my career, and that is the reason I'm looking forward towards other opportunities. And particularly, I would like to specify in which domain I am interested, so that you
Yes.
can drive me forward in that particular area or in that particular segment, particularly.
Now, here is a smart thing to do, Shamshed. You know that you are appearing for an interview. You must have had a look at the JD before, because that's where you and I are meeting today. So you know already the job is posted for maybe a financial analysis. We are looking for a financial analyst, and who can run the reports or something, or trend analysis. So you know it. So you can always say that I have done APAR and I have done that. And today now I'm looking for my enhancing or widening my skill set by learning and applying these learning to the financial analysis or trend analysis things. So you know what they are looking for. If you are using the words from the job role, job charter, it will help resonating. So you use same words which have been used in the job charter. It will help me understanding this guy knows about that. And especially when it's just the HR round. So I'm just asking you, have you done the trend analysis? Yes, I have done that. Have you done that? Yes, I have done. Oh, in this area, I am proficient, but in these two areas, I have done only the, I have moderate experience. So very nicely, firmly, and you know what they are looking for, use the same word as mentioned in the job chart. That would be my advice.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. And ma'am, one more question from my end. I would like to ask you, how do we approach a HR person? Like, if we know that some vacancies are going to come out from this particular company, and we would like to find out who exactly is handling the HR department. So how do we approach, how do we find out who exactly is looking after all these things?
So generally the recruiters, they mention the name at the, when they are posting the job. So this is important when you are writing the subject. Sometime we receive resume, please PFA my resume. And against which job, the source, nothing has been mentioned. So it becomes little, little very untidy. The right approach is, in the subject line, you are mentioning LinkedIn posting number so and so against this role. So in the subject line itself, when I'm opening that email, I know for which role have you applied for. So that creates a very professional impression for the candidate, that this is with reference to the job posted on so and so date on LinkedIn or Naukri or Monster. Hereby, I'm sending you my candidature for the said post. I have this much of time of experience and this and this. So 2-3 lines in the body itself, in the mail body itself. It helps the recruiter looking at the candidature and the skill set. So if I'm looking for a reconciliation person, and if you're writing in the mail body that I have 5 years of reconciliation and AR and cash management experience, it helps me taking that out.
Okay,
Does
ma'am.
that help?
Thanks a lot. Yeah, it's helpful, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Who is next now? Guys, make the most of it. You can practice your interview today.
Hi, I have a question. I'm Bhati here.
Yeah.
So my question would be, so I'm a person who's not from finance world. So I'm an engineer who has taken up ACCA and planning to learn it from the very beginning. So how do I answer in an interview? So why are you looking for a finance related industry? Why are you looking for a job in finance related industry? Like, can you help me on that terms? How should I appropriately answer that question?
So Bharti, I see that your academics are very different than the field you have chosen. This is so important because you do not know the skill set of the recruiter.
Correct.
So if they are looking at your academic skills that you are not BCom or MCom, and then they have a mandate that you are to choose only BComs and MComs, this is not going to help us. So when you are sending any covering letter or applying against any posting, so you have to let them know why there is a career change. There has to be a reason that, Bharti, why after doing your engineering, today you are pursuing your finance. So you need to be so clear when you are sending that to them. Or Bharti, do you have any experience in your engineering work?
No, I have started studying ACC as soon as I finished my mechanical engineering.
Okay,
degree.
so why you have, I mean, I'm very curious to know why you have chosen this field.
Actually, I have always had this attraction to be working in
Finance.
Yeah, finance. So I'm actually doing my internship in a finance industry, finance company. So that's where I got attracted towards ACC as well.
So I have a classic case. My niece has done that after doing her BTech from JP. She has taken this finance.
Okay.
And she had the same case. So Bharti, my recommendation, suggestion to you would be that when you are appearing for an interview, you are letting them know that during my internship, I found this field so interesting. And I just looked at finance at my career option, and that's where I switched from engineering to finance. That is the honest and right answer. So for you at this stage, Bharti, it is so important that you earn some sidewise experience in finance. And your referral programs may be very helpful because somebody who knows you, your passion, your capabilities can introduce you to his or her company. And that's where you can earn your first finance experience. Without that experience, if you are just sending your resume, I have no idea, and I have not seen, recruiters very great at screening. And sometimes they really miss out on great candidatures. But you will have to be very, very structured in telling why there is a shift, a change from one very diverse field to the another field. I mean, 4 years you have invested in engineering.
Understood.
You with me, Bharti, on this?
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
So it would be great that if you find another internship opportunity somewhere, so you can have this in your resume stating that, 6 months in this industry, have done this, and acquired this kind of experience of bookkeeping or finances or something. So that will be, the key to your success.
Thank you. Yeah, sure.
Now, who is next? And am I going to get another question?
Does anyone have a question for Sonali?
What comes to your mind when you listen this word communication? Is it only English? What comes to your mind, Kedar?
No, ma'am. Communication can be in any languages.
So how this communication is different than public speaking?
So it can be one-to-one, or suppose in interview there is one-to-one or in group discussion. So number of people doesn't matter.
Okay, why do you get this fear? Even if it's an interview. Why do you get this fear? What can go wrong?
Because due to job, would you get it or not?
And which is okay, because not every job is meant for us. We are not meant for every job, which is okay. But you are appearing, you are putting your candidature forward, which is okay. So why there is a fear? You know what kind of work you have done. They are asking questions, you are explaining. What can go wrong? Nothing.
So it's simply the nervousness.
That if they will extend the offer or not, that is the nervousness.
Yes. Because there will be so much of competition.
There is so much of competition, but if you look around, there are so many opportunities. I'm looking to recruit 80 seats now, and I'm not finding candidates. It's not, and my argument with the hiring manager is always around that that these guys are coming from Genpacts and Amex and Colts of the world, and they know accounting. So how can you say that they were not great at accounting? So sometimes they are not able to put their finger on why did they reject the candidate. But it is the combination of their accounting skills, of course, but the way they have answered the questions, that confidence, that influence, that convincing skills, that smile, that mannerism. It's a package. It's not just somebody might be, great at accounting, but if this person is not able to express that, I passed this journal entry that I bought a furniture account debit to Kedar. So if you are buying a furniture, what would be the entry? Furniture
For
account debit to?
creditors, suppliers.
Okay, I was to say cash. So I would say, why creditor, why not cash?
So it can be both the ways. If it's been taken on credit.
Uh-huh. And
So
what will be the entry for that? So that's where the conversation will start. As long as you are clear that how to say it, but why not cash? The interviewer will push you to make you very, very confused. And he would like to see the clarity of your thought, why you are saying. So now you just answered, it can be both. If it is the credit, the entry is this. If this is the cash, entry would be this. So it tells about the conceptual knowledge. But at the same time, the voice has to be so confident, not shaky, convincing. And that's where it is so important that you do not get nervous. You know your job. You've been doing that. 2.5 years you work with that company. You know end to end your profile. There is no reason to get nervous at all. At all. That is only 10 minutes thing. The combination of your comm skills, and comm skills is not always English. It's interpreting the question, giving the answers, convincing, smile, behavior, mannerism, confidence, and a broad smile, and a firm eye contact. So I'm not nervous. I'm not looking at the roof, or I'm not looking at the ceiling, and sometime, I'm getting nervous and I'm making some hand gestures. No, absolutely not. Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am, I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, sometimes we work in a big four, which has a good name
Mhm.
in market.
Mhm.
They are good at employees uh, uh, behavior or and employees compliance and uh, all the rules and regulations. But we get offer from startups, and there we find a greater position and higher salary. So should we disclose these uh, these uh, uh, these very clearly to interview or not? Should we say, okay, we are moving because of sake of salary or a higher position we are getting?
So, Abdullah, is that right, Abdullah?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
uh, see, these years are not meant for any feedback or criticisms. Believe me, they are meant to have praises only. So, more you keep your conversation structure positive, more you are going to get the great results. If I have understood your question, that if somebody is moving from a mid-scale company to big fours, and during their interview with big fours, they are saying
No,
that we want to
no,
move
ma'am.
for salary.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay.
So we works in Big Four, but in Big Four, salary is lower, and position is not that high. But
Okay.
we get an offer from mediocre firm or startups. We get a chance at higher position and higher salary. So sometimes we want to go for that option. So should we clearly uh, say these?
It's the other way around, Sonali.
I got you.
Yeah.
So I tell you that how industry works. So Abdullah, big fours and TCS and HCL and Genpact and Amex of the world, they have invested heavily in their brand building. They encash their brand building by their structures and salary structures, and they are not very competitive. But if you look at a small scale, a mid scale, or a new, a venture capitalist firm, they have a lot of money. They would like to get the best talent for their startups. And that's where they retain the talent with money. The big fours, big names, they retain the talent, they attract the talent with their job profiles and brand name. So today, I have been working with InterContinental for the last 15 years. Tomorrow, I may get an opportunity to move to Accenture, to HCL. But then, the salary is, let's suppose, X there. And not a great jump from a director to a VP. It's not great. But then there is another firm trying to come to the market, venture capitalist, funded, and I get double my salary, or maybe 1.5 times my salary, ESOPs option, the employee, stock exchange options, some partnership this, or maybe handling a region. Right now, I'm handling only India. Tomorrow, they are just saying that you will be taking care of the APAC region, maybe, 16 countries. So what is more important to me? A larger profile, a VP title, or money? So Abdullah, these three things, they play different roles in your career journey. When you start, when you are, fresh pass out and you start your career, everyone would want to go with the big fours, big names. So their resume can get or earn more weightage, right? Because when after 4 years, I'm floating my resume in the market, I will be picked because I have Deloitte or E&Y on my resume. People know that Deloitte or E&Y, everything is great, but their employees work minimum 10 to 12 hours a day, maybe 15 hours. But the skill set they earn during that period is phenomenal, end to end. If you compare it to a small to mid-scale company. When you earn an experience for good 4 to 6 years, you are at a TL level, assistant manager level. Now you are looking for a manager level. You still would want to stick with HCL or Genpact, and you want to be a manager. But then after 7 or 8 years, you know that I'm desperate to I want to lead a team. I want to have a manager title. I want to have a minimum salary of 15 lakhs. I have to move out. And then you have explored everything within your company that it is not workable. There are not many opportunities. And now is the time to move. And here comes the mid-scale company into play, who would give you 1.5 times or a double of your salary and a manager level, which is great. And you should take that because now you are going to earn your people manager skills. You will be leading a team. You will be testing the waters. You will be working in a different environment. But believe you me, once you work with big fours, the culture, the corporate thing, the policies, the tools, the automation, this will not allow you to move to a small scale. You move to a small scale when you earn good 20, 22 years of experience, and now you have something to show it to the world, and you would like to help communities, you would like to just go for something else, and corporate culture doesn't matter to you at all. But between the two, there is always this career ladder playing, that if you are moving from a KPMG to a small scale, there should not be a problem, but at the right stage. Not after working in 2 years with KPMG, you would not go to a Ramlal Shamlal company. That is not great for your resume. And I would be, if I'm looking at your resume, the first question would come to me that, oh, why did you leave KPMG and come to XYZ? What was the tool? Sonali, I wanted to have money. Money is fine. But what you were handling in KPMG? Oh, I handled these many clients and this client and that client. And I was the face. I worked on the client side. I did audits. I did that. So during audit, what have you earned? I managed stakeholders. I managed this. I managed that. So it talks about the gravity. It talks about the skill set you have earned during that 2 years of stint with KPMG. But when I'm just, okay, now that time you were earning 50,000, then you move to this XYZ company where you were earning 1 lakh. And then I'm asking, what are you currently handling? Because you are with XYZ right now. And then you are saying, it's more people manager role, and I just oversee what my team is doing. Okay, so what your team does? They do some kind of this thing, and they process the invoice. Okay, they process the invoice. So is it manual? Yes, it is manual. What is the volume? 2 or 3 invoice a day. How big is the company? 25 people. And I'm just thinking, this guy is really serious about his career or not? Then it gives a very big question mark that, is it only money? Because the way he explained his stint with KPMG, where he handled stakeholders and audits and independence and tools and automated things and this and that, And then he moved to this company where he is doing everything manual. So
but
how do
but ma'am, the position could be a reasonable answer, good answer or not to answer in interview. The reason for
if you could just explain your question.
ma'am, if I got a higher position in mediocre firm, and could I say this reason in interview?
देखो
This
इंटरव्यू में ना
was
हर किसी को
this
पता
was the
है,
reason.
हर किसी को पता बुल्ला that when we float our resume we are looking for a fatter salary. Everyone knows the reality,
Yeah.
right?
So,
I would not, you know, I can lay a very flowery picture. I'm this, I'm that. Your company is so, sir, I was dying. It's my dream company. I want to work with Google. Imagine tomorrow, you know, Google is calling you at the same salary. Would you go? You may not, because it's Google. You may or you may not. But all I am advising is you need to see that if you have earned good experience of 4 or 5 years, and now there is a reasonable thing, but frame your answer such that it should not appear just it is for the money, only for the sake of the money. So you are structuring your answer that I moved from KPMG to XYZ because of the role profile. And you know, the salary structure was so that I could save a lot. But it should not be I moved for money. So during the interview, 15 minutes you have an, with the interviewer, and you are creating your persona, you are creating your impression, you are creating your personality. This is what you want your interview to perceive you. आप यही तो चाहते हैं कि आप मुझे आइडियल कैंडिडेट समझिए, और उस आइडियल कैंडिडेट को बनने के लिए you will have to structure your thoughts. There is no problem moving from KPMG to a small scale. Absolutely not. But when you are letting this know to the HR, the framing of the word, the structure of your thoughts should be very positive. I moved because, the salary was very attractive and the role was very, so this role has to be enhanced. And slightly the money part. Money should not be the primary reason, rather be secondary. Does that help?
yeah, ma'am. Yeah.
So have you received any offer from a mid-scale company?
No, ma'am, I'm still studying. Haven't. I just.
No, it's a valid question. It's a valid question. Sometimes people, they would like to start their career from a mid-scale so that they can earn and move then to the next level there. So this is absolutely up to you. How do you want to create your career?
I just asked to beat my hesitation.
Okay.
No
Okay.
more.
Okay. So what other hesitation do you have, if I can help you?
Ma'am, I fumble when I speak to people. Ma'am, I don't have a very English environment. In English environment, who speak who speak with me in English. So, but sometimes once or twice in 2 months or 6 months, I face these English people. So that time I hesitate. Uh, so basic reason I don't have people who communicate me with me in English.
See,
So yeah.
the good news today is we all have smartphones.
Yeah.
We all have an access to Netflix and BBCs of the world.
Yeah.
And you know, we all get through this phase. We all get through. Yeah.
I'm currently listening to podcasts and these things, English podcast.
And this is what is going to help you. This is what is going to help you. Our home environments are not such where we talk in English all day. But if you look around, you have an access to all the English programs. BBC, and everything. All you need is little of practice. And if somebody is not around, your friends are not around, you always have your videos. Start reading something. It really helps.
Yeah,
Get that video. Yeah.
ma'am, from podcast, I can't learn the exact grammar, how the sentences frames. So but I got some words and add some words in my dictionary. So should I go for sentence classes or?
That won't help. That won't help. In my experience, that don't help. So go to Google, look for grammar, MCQs or conjunctions or any, there are, because I get that downloaded for my daughter. So grammar practice sheets, and you just, it's online. You just type online MCQ or practice sheet for grammar or tenses or something. And online, they tell you that when you are clicking on the option, why this is wrong, why this is right. If you look at English, it's not that hard at all. There are 5 rules. Once you know the rules, and you are done. You are done. 5 rules. That's around the tenses. You get the clarity on tenses, and it's gonna be so easy for you. Have, has, had के साथ verb का, which which tenses to be followed, and you are done. It is in the back of our mind that we are getting judged for our English. Just break that fear. Break that fear. You do that 10-20 practice sheet, and you will have a lot of confidence. Now I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
It's my second or third time I asked a question in class in English.
And that's how you learn. That's how you learn. You need to break the hesitation.
I deliberately asked this question.
You really need, and more you talk about it, it's just 10 times, and 11th time you feel that, oh, it's not that difficult. Small sentences, very small sentences, and it's just, in our mind. We know it all. We know it all.
Thank you so much.
Who do we have next?
Hello, ma'am. Can you please suggest some web series which can be watched on Netflix or the OTT platforms initially to start with, so that you can improve your English and start over?
Shamsuddin, OTT platforms are not censored, so I will not give my suggestion. I will not give that suggestion. But okay, I tell you that how I worked in some small companies. Then I moved to IHG. And when I moved to IHG, for the first time in my life, I was interviewed by a gentleman from UK. And that, it was over a video call, and it went well. And that was the first time I spoke to somebody for good 2 hours. Great story. But then when I joined this company, and I happened to meet with another gentleman who was heading the center, who was from Australia. So if you look at a person who is from UK, who is in HR, so he had a very good accent, understandable and nice, But this gentleman from Australia had a very Aussie accent, and it was more murmuring. So I was not getting his questions. I was so conscious in my head. I was so conscious in my head. He was very tall. I'm very short. And so there was no eye contact. I was looking at him like this, and there was no conversation. When after that dinner, when I came home, and I was just thinking in my head that I really need to work on the accents. Because if I'm not understanding this. And next day when we had a meeting, so during the lunch, he asked me something. That time we were just recruiting for the first time for finance professionals. So he asked me a question and I did not get it. I looked at his face and I just requested him, Steve, can you be a little slow? I cannot get your accent. And afterward, it was okay. Sometimes it is in our head. But then I got my development area and I really wanted to work upon it. So I started watching some of these not on OTT that time, but yes, some series from that side so that I can get to see. But that was not of much help. BBC News really helped me because their accent is very neutral. Their English is very, very, very neutral, not with, very floral, very difficult words. BBC News, all the beginners, I suggest to start watching BBC News. Once you get into that 15 or 10 minutes a day, you get so confident. You get very, very confident. I am understanding it now. Yes, Amna, over to you now.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Hi, Amna.
Ma'am, does joining clubs like Toastmasters Club help in communication? Because
Big
I've
time.
heard a lot about it and
Big
I've come
time,
across
big
it
time.
on LinkedIn also.
Big time, big time. They really, because then they are giving you some, we have this Toastmaster, we used to have right now, I mean, it has been dismantled, but in our company itself. So we just are employees in every company. I mean, we all are not 100% foreigners and with right accent and right word per minute and modulation and this and that. So everyone, including our directors and managers, they would like to enhance the skill. It is not, language is one thing, you cannot get it overnight. It has to be practiced. It has to be, the vocabulary has to be added every day. You really need to take or make those conscious efforts. And Toastmasters really help, Amna. If you get a chance, please do join that. They push you. It's the public speaking. You are addressing the audience. It's the impromptu sessions, jam sessions, and they give you one topic and no one judges you. There is no fear at all. You are within that, known circle. So you don't feel hesitated. Everybody out here is for his enhancement, developing that skill further. So you don't feel that you are being judged. Everyone was making mistake or makes mistakes. So you feel okay, that's okay, because they help you, your moderator, your president helps you with the right thing, that you speak, you have to go a little slow, or your vocabulary, you need to work on your vocabulary, you need to address this, you need to bring confidence. Toastmaster is a great, great idea. Do join that. Do join that. Yes, Tanish.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sonali, if I may just
Good evening,
add to
ma'am.
what Amna asked, Toastmasters had invited me a couple of times and I've been there. It's an absolutely fabulous platform for people who want to enhance their public speaking skills, very rightly pointed out, because they consciously make an attempt to involve all the participants. They make you the MC once, they ask you to take a lot of positions, and then they give you a lot of opportunities to enhance your speaking skills, your diction. They help you to, at the end of your journey, you'll realize that fear that you had of facing people, of speaking, you're speaking impromptu, they just put you into a situation where you have to jam or ham or, speak for a minute. So that hesitation, that apprehension, it all goes away. So joining these platforms, the other benefit that you get is you're learning collectively in a group. so you find other people who are sailing in the same boat, and then you're collectively learning and grooming yourself. So yeah, very good option to join these groups. Yes, over to you, Tanishq.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Tanishq here.
Yeah, Dinesh.
Yeah, ma'am. Sometimes speaking in English, there come some words which we can't explain in English, which is better to shift to Hindi. So it is better to shift to Hindi, or should we stick to English only?
देखो, अगर मुझे वर्ड ही नहीं मिल रहा तो मैं कैसे कहूंगी? But if you
माने अटक अटक के आ रहा है दिमाग में, लेकिन हिंदी में मैं बेटर उसको एक्सप्लेन कर सकता हूँ.
हाँ, कर सकते हैं, but that's where we are just seeing that in a corporate environment, English is an international language. Wherever you go, this has become the language. So, and imagine, like Hindi, it's another language. All of you have studied some of the subjects in English for good 12 to 15 years. There is no rocket science. You all know it. It's just practice. It is in your mind, because somebody is talking in English and we come under pressure that my English is not that great. My vocabulary is not that great. My accent is not great. I'm not very firm. I fumble. बोलते हुए ना, I stammer. I start repeating myself. And which is okay. That is only the initial period until you start speak or converse in English. That is just the initial period. And that
Yes.
phase, बहुत आराम से वो phase निकल जाता है. But if you are not finding the right word and the conversation is going on, you have every right to use some Hindi word and then back to English and saying, sometimes some people are very smart, Tanishq. They would use, I'm just struggling for that word and I'm not finding, but in Hindi, it means this. They are very smart.
Yeah, right,
Right?
ma'am. Like that
Right?
only.
So they, it is coming in my mind, but I'm not able to express it. But in Hindi, I call it this. And
Yes,
then
ma'am.
you move back. So it is all about, Tanishq, how you are framing the conversation.
Got it, ma'am.
So it is if you and I have eye contact, we are talking, we are enjoying the conversation, we are getting into that conversation, and you are asking question, I'm enjoying it, we are having little fun. Okay, so what are your career plans? How do you plan to do it? What do you do over the weekend? And this and that. And then here comes a situation where you struggle for a word, and then you move back to Hindi. But in Hindi, it is called this, and then wapis aa jao. Bring
Yes,
the
ma'am.
conversation back and always be in the moment, Tanishq, looking at the other person. If this person is still interested to get into a conversation, or this person is losing the interest. As long as you have your eye contact,
Okay.
and you are enjoying, you are smiling, there is a chemistry. And suddenly it gets off track. And you know that, oh, it's gone now. But then you need to make a conscious effort to bring it back to the track. Right?
Yes, ma'am. Right. Got it.
So look for some little excuses. Can I have a glass of water, so that you can take a pause? And then
right.
you can start the conversation with saying something.
Correct.
Even if you get confused, there is no problem telling this to the other person. I think I'm a little confused. This is only the second time I'm appearing for the interview. Can I have a glass of water? Can I take a break for 2 minutes? There is no problem, but say it with confidence. I'm getting a little nervous. So be honest. The other person understands it.
Yes, ma'am.
And your honesty is always on your face. Don't forget that.
Thank you, ma'am. Got it.
Who do we have next?
We'll need to wrap up the session, students. So if you have any quick questions, we can take a couple of them. Please use your chance, students. Please come up with your questions. Any one of you? I guess there aren't any questions. Do we have any questions, students? This is the last call, last and final call.
All are
Okay.
feeling shy to speak.
No. As it is, your videos are off. Why are you feeling shy? All the more, you're free. You're absolutely having your videos off. So who's wanting to speak?
If there is a question and you would like to type it, I can take that also.
Ma'am, I have a question, but that is not directly related to communication. I mean, how would you advise that a working person balances his or her work-life balance? Because I feel like sometimes it's very overwhelming when you step out in that corporate culture.
There are policies, there are companies, and we have a strictly 8 hours policy. And you really need to see that where do you want to bring the balance? And you need to take your family and your boss into confidence wherever you need some help, be it your family front, because unless your family is supporting, you can't work. Unless your work is supporting, you just cannot maintain the balance. So this is so important. Wherever you are feeling little troubled, little challenged, you need to talk to either your spouse or family, or you need to talk to your parents or the boss, that I can get this work done during these 4 days, when we have the month ends, I can stay, but after that, longer hours are not helping me out. So you need to be little upfront. Again, my mantra is staying positive, structuring, using the right word. I'm overwhelmed. No, I'm not overwhelmed. At this moment, because of the attrition, it has put a little extra pressure on everybody's head. And that's where my personal life has been compromised. So could I please have your help, telling this to your boss, that you have been supportive, but because of the new work, because of the new project, or maybe the attrition has created this situation where I need your help to bring back my work-life balance, because no one else can help you. No one else. The problem which is between you and I can be handled only either by you or by me. But you need to be more organized.
Okay, so we have any more questions, or we should wrap this session up? So Sonali, just before we end, I would like to share with you and with others what I used to do when I was in school. So I used to, I think I got, the highest marks in both the languages for the longest time, for about 8 to 9 years in my school. And as a child, what I used to do is what I'm explaining my son also. He's just 8 years old. So in my childhood times, I used to listen to, I used to watch serials like Ramayana and Mahabharata and all those with those heavy sounding words. So there were two parts I used to take it in. One was the vocab part. So in English or in Hindi, whenever I was watching anything, any kind of content on the television, or I was having a conversation with someone, I came across a word I did not know. I still have my 30-year-old dictionary of my childhood days. I used to immediately write it down in a diary. So I have some 7 or 8 diaries, which I just filled up with new words. So I used to make a note of all the new words, be it Hindi or English. That was the first part of it, how I was making my vocab bank. And the second part of it, I used to make a conscious attempt of using those new words in my conversation. Because, one communication is you have very good skills in writing. So there are a lot of people who are very hesitant in speaking, but they write very good emails, because they know that structure, their vocab is strong. So one part is, enhancing or strengthening your vocabulary. And the second part is that fluency bit of the language, which only comes with practice. With practice, you can watch a lot of good serials. So I see my son is nowadays watching a lot of new series on Netflix, and how consciously he's using those words, because those are American children, he's watching those things on YouTube, and how consciously he tries to use those words with me in my conversation. That's the way you get a hang of it. So I think you can do something like that also. It has really helped me throughout my life. making a note. I still make my, digital notes on my iPhone, wherein I make a note of maybe phrases or words, and then, you try to somehow implement them in your life. So that is that one bit from me, something that I have done. So I assume there are no more questions. So Sonali, it's been really wonderful conducting this skill building series with you. And I totally like your approach of taking so many questions, and next time I would definitely I'll see to it that my students are prepared to, switch on the videos and ask as many questions. You're just ready to answer them all. So I think on behalf of the ACCA team and all my students, thank you so much, Sonali, for such a wonderful session. You've been so cooperative. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and taking all the questions. Thank you so very much. We're
Thank
absolutely
you for your
grateful.
time and inviting me. Thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sonali. Thank you so much, students.
Stay safe, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you for your time and
Bye, ma'am.
audience.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.